Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So today I want to talk about potential Primaris releases in the year 2020. If you harken your mind back to that pixelated image that we got a couple of months back, a lot of people have theorized that this Primaris Bikes coming, there's Primaris Land Speeders coming. There's actually a post over on Bolter and Chainsword which I was linked to, which is really interesting. It's a post from a guy called Lord Nord. I'll include it in the description of the video, everything like that, if you want to go and read it for yourselves. But there's this whole discussion about an Outrider that we had a few weeks back when I made a video where the latest Space Marine book made a note that a Space Marine biker, a Primaris Space Marine biker should I say, was called an Outrider. That's what his official name. We've had that before when aggressors got mentioned in books before they got released. So it looks like Outrider is the name of the bike, but Lord Nord has actually said, I wonder if it's actually not the name of the bike, but it's kind of like the next so-called chamber for Primaris to go down. Now, for those of you who don't know what a chamber is, this all started with AOS and with the Stormcast Eternals, and when they get new models, they basically open a new chamber, and from that chamber, new models come. Now, I can see 40k actually going along with that type of strategy, of course, not in the name of what they're doing it, but the same kind of business strategy of pumping out models by releasing them in the so-called chambers. Now, just before I quickly get into this, I just want to say, for people who are watching this and thinking, God damn it, Primaris getting more releases, god damn, you guys have got enough. Yes, I agree. I do. I'm with you. Yes, you Xenos need some releases as well. I'm not trying to make this a video like I demand more Primaris stuff. We should have more stuff than you. I'm not trying to do that at all. I'm just looking at this from a logical standpoint now, from a business standpoint of what's been teased by GW. So let's not try to turn this into, god damn Primaris boys, you've got enough, screw you guys, you know, because I always get that on these videos where I actually talk about Primaris. It's just one of them things where I'm just looking at what Primaris need, and I respect that you also need your stuff as well. So what we've had so far is basically the main battle line. So, you know, some of the HQs, we've had a little bit of the HQs from everything. We've had a bit of fast attack, yes, in Inceptors and suppressors, but we really haven't had like a full-on massive release of a fast attack. And what I mean by that is that if you've harkened your way back to Shadow Spear, that was a Vanguard so-called chamber being released. So you had the Phobos pattern armor, the Phobos pattern librarian, the Phobos pattern captain, the Phobos pattern lieutenant. You even had like the tactical war suits and stuff. That was like a full-on chamber release dedicated to people, or should I say characters in Primaris, designed to be this elite kind of deep striking behind enemy lines, taking it straight to the enemy. First off, that was like a massive big release from that. We haven't had that when it comes to fast attack, and we haven't had that when it comes to more of the big heavier bulky stuff as well. Because it does make sense for GW to go in that direction now. Now, as I stated before, Outrider was the name used in the novel, but as this post states, which really does make a lot of sense, that maybe Outrider is going to be like the next so-called bulk of releases. These will be known as Outriders, much like and the Phobos guys were known as the whole Vanguard. Outrider is actually the name of the fast attack option that you make your list with. So it actually does really make sense in that kind of way. I know Outrider's already been used in Space Marines before. If you're familiar with the Horus Heresy and stuff like that, they actually have bikers called Outriders. Now, I know a lot of the Primaris stuff is inspired design-wise and name-wise from the Horus Heresy. The way the lore, does it and stuff like that is that Gilliman is really harking his thought process back to the Crusade era, where you have like a full 10-man squad of plasma guys, just that kind of setup and that kind of mobility that it gives them on the battlefield. So it could make sense that this Outrider is actually a biker and they just renamed it after the Horus Heresy stuff. But it also makes sense that if the Outrider is also this so-called new chamber that could potentially be shown off at Adepticon on the 25th of March. Now, for the so-called Outrider chamber to be viable, I think they're actually going to need a pretty big release, just like what they did with the Vanguard. So I foresee that if this does happen and the so-called Outrider chamber does happen, we've already seen the so-called leaked pixelated pitch of a so-called land speeder or Primaris land speeder. You can make out some kind of bike vehicles on there. Again, in the Fist of the Imperium book, it states that there's a librarian that actually rides a Primaris bike. They actually name it as a Primaris bike. We know now that in the current law, or in the current moral range, should I say, that Primaris can't go on bikes, and you know it's just a thing that just hasn't happened yet. Again, I know books can take it a step further and do different things and stuff like that, but the thing that really sticks out in this book, as I covered in a full video dedicated to this, is that it really does state that this is a Primaris actual bike. And another thing that adds to this again is that a few months back, GW themselves came out and retired a lot of the actual biker models that we have. Now, you can play them for open play and narrative play and stuff like that, but all these bikes, I think it was like the Chaplain, I think it was like the Apothecary, you know, those type of character bike stuff, they don't really have any current match play points in this latest update of Warhammer 40,000. So for me, that gives a kind of an indication, really, is that are they going to be releasing those models now redone as Primaris? So we'll see like a Primaris maybe Chaplain, a Primaris Biker, a Primaris Captain, you know, Primaris Lieutenant, you know, these characters that we attach to the biker models back from the day will be redesigned, and they will be basically the new kind of bikers for you to use in your army. There has been a lot of talk and rumours about Primaris bikers for so long now, like for years and years, ever since like I really started to like talking about the tabletop. It's always been on everyone's lips about Primaris getting fast attack bikes and stuff like that. Yes, that pixelated image clearly does look like there are new Primaris bikes, but we can't really take that fully as legit that is happening. I personally believe it's happening once again. I really do think that image is real. That's why I think it's such hilarious that they actually leaked when it did. But you can't really take anything until GW states it themselves. In my perfect world, I would love Primaris bikes, I would love the land speeder, and I'd also love some type of fast attack aircraft. Maybe it doesn't have to be transport. I know there's a lot of talk about Primaris and transporting. Definitely when it comes to aircraft, yes, you can take a Thunderhawk, but I doubt anyone wants to put that much money down just to transport some Primaris. Plus, the point cost alone of deploying that is a bit ridiculous. You're going to probably only be take that for like apocalypse games or just like stupid games between you and your friends and stuff. When it comes to competitive play and everything like that, you don't really see someone deploying an actual Thunderhawk. So a nice fast attack ship would be cool. If it has transport capabilities, it will always be a bonus for me. I love getting my guys up the field. Anything that can transport aggressors is always welcome for me, because me as an Imperial Fist player, having Bolt Storm and getting them up the field as fast as possible always helps me purge the enemies. And that leads on to the next subject, which is of course the more bulkier stuff when it comes to the Primaris range. Now, aggressors, Bolt Storm, I absolutely love them. I'm a massive fan of aggressors, especially as an Imperial Fist once again. There's some design things I don't like about them. Yeah, the so-called hoods are very librarianish for me, so I always get my hobby knife out and cut them off, and I think they look way more cooler. But on the subject of aggressors, there's been a little bit of a debate saying, is aggressor armor basically the variant of Terminator armor for the Primaris Marine? I personally believe it is not. The simple reason I think that is because with Terminators, you have the deep strike rule, you have teleportation, you have other weapons like lightning claws, thunder hammers, shields. You don't have that option with the aggressor armor. Aggressor armor is basically there just for you to walk up, either dagger with your guns or flamers, and then punch some things with your double power fist. That is basically it. Oh, also, you have your little rocket pods at the top of your head as well. But I don't really see it filling as the role of the Terminator stuff. So I personally think that if we do get this so-called fast attack chamber or Outrider chamber, whatever we want to call it, I do believe that after that, or maybe even before it, maybe GW surprises, and maybe the bike stuff is going to be after this. You know, it's entirely up to them. Maybe we'll actually see that heavier, bulky kind of chamber released, and we'll get some more variants of Primaris in bigger, stronger, more tougher types of armor. What that armor is basically anyone's guess. I know a lot of people said, "What is it? Is it basically going to be like Centurion Primaris?" It could be. It's all down to just theory craft at the moment. The thing that I want out of my bigger, tougher guys is that I would love basically a Primaris Terminator. Again, it's probably going to be called something different, but I would love the option to take some big guys who have this incredible big bulky armor toughness, which have the options to deep strike in behind enemy lines or get close to the enemies, like bang, straight there, we're in straight away. Have the options of like shields, swords, lightning claws, so you can really get in there and start scrapping with the enemy. That is one of the things I personally feel that the Primaris lack at the moment, is the big tough units that can go toe to toe with some of the bigger units. Yes, we have a lot of offensive weapons, but when the fire is on us and we don't really have that much of a defense. Now, of course, we have the 2 wounds, which is always amazing. That's one of the best things I love about Primaris. So that's when it comes to the whole balance and stats things, which we can argue to with all these blue in the face. But from a lore standpoint, we don't really have the bulky stuff, which the firstborn Space Marines have at their arsenal. And that's not only infantry and stuff like that as well. You can actually apply that to vehicles. I would absolutely love to see another variant of a Primaris vehicle, maybe like a hover Vindicator. I have no idea how it would work, because when you have that massive cannon and you shoot it, does the hover just bloody shoot you backwards and just like fly spinning through the air? Yeah, they'll probably have to go into designs about that. But do you know what I mean? Like a big bulky piece of armament which can just it just looks tough and brutal on the battlefield. I'd absolutely love something like that. Maybe get another esque of like a super heavy tank, because the only super heavy unit that we actually have in the Primaris force at the moment is the Astraeus tank, and of course that's Forge World, and that is a bit of a pricey thing if if you basically just want to something in your army. So maybe they could design something more in plastic, which has like the super heavy stuff, and make it a bit more viable on the battlefield. Again, it's just all theory crafting at the moment. You can literally start saying maybe like a super heavy flyer or a super heavy dreadnought. It's basically what people's minds can escape to, and what GW will probably start thinking of and putting out in future updates. Alright, Chaperonios, that is me done for another video. I just thought I'd take this money to talk about a bit about Primaris. I know we've been talking about a lot of orcs recently. I'm sure there's going to be more updates to orcs throughout this week. I cannot wait for Gazskull to be revealed. But yeah, there's just too much Xenos talk, and I just wanted to get back to the core roots of talking about, I was going to say Dawn's glorious Primaris, but it's not Dawn's. Call's glorious, or Rebooting Gilliman's glorious Primaris Marines. I'm not sure if the Emperor would approve if he ever woke up and saw it all. But yes, thank you for coming, thank you for watching. As always, leave your thoughts, feedback and everything like that down in the comment section down below. If you could pick one unit for the Primaris to have, either fast attack, heavy, or just anything, what would that unit be, and what would it be its purpose on the battlefield? That'd be a nice little thing to talk about. Right, thank you for coming, thank you for watching, see you now, and bye bye.